is Kelly Garney, childhood friend of Randy Rhoads and co-founder of Quiet Riot, and you are watching DC's Daily Dose of Rock Music History.
Hey guys, I'm DC, creator and host of Barside, Jive, and I want to welcome each of you back to my daily dose of rock music history. Today is Thursday, March 26th, 2020, and I want to welcome you to my COVID-19 shelter-in-place extreme isolation tour, day number 3. Remember, you can check out my Daily Dose archives as well as all my other content on my YouTube channel. All you got to do is search Barside Jive Live. I want you to know that I am coming at you live from the Vocal Studios in North Dallas, vocalnow.com. And remember, vocal is always misspelled intentionally with a K. Now let's talk some rock and roll. On this day in 1956, after Bob Neal's management contract with Elvis Presley expired on March 15th, Colonel Tom Parker takes over. His position of personal representative and manager will pay him 25% of Presley's earnings. Ricky Nelson records his first tunes for the Verve label on this day in 1957. A Teenager's Romance will climb to number 2 on the Billboard chart, and a cover of Fats Domino's I'm Walkin' will reach number 4. Over his 15-year recording career, Rick will place 36 songs in the U.S. Top 40. Wow. On this day in 1958, Eddie Cochran records his only U.S. Top 10 hit, Summertime Blues, which will rise to number 8 in the U.S. the next fall. It reached number 18 in the U.K. Blues artist Little Willie John died in prison on this day in 1968 under mysterious circumstances after being convicted of manslaughter 2 years earlier. He had 14 hits on the U.S. R&B charts and the same number on the pop charts, including Fever, Sleep, and Talk to Me, Talk to Me. On this day in 1970, Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary was arrested in Washington, D.C. for taking immoral liberties with a 14-year-old girl. He pleads guilty and is sentenced to 3 months in jail. Just days earlier, the trio had won a Grammy Award for Best Recording for Children for their album Peter, Paul, and Mommy. Yarrow was later pardoned by U.S. President Gerald Ford. David Essex received a gold record for the hit Rock On this day in 1974, which made number 5 in the U.S. and number 3 in the U.K.
Hey, dear, rock and roll, rock on, ooh, my soul.
Also on this day in 1974, Dionne Warwick and the Spinners record Then Came You. Although Warwick didn't have much faith in the song, it became her first hit in nearly 4 years when it topped the Billboard chart the very next October. Keith Richards' girlfriend Anita Pallenberg gave birth to a baby boy, Tara, on this day in 1976. He died 10 weeks later from pneumonia. On this day in 1977, Daryl Hall and John Oates scored the first of their 6 Billboard number 1 hits when Rich Girl reached the very top. The song was not a hit, however, in the UK. Seven years after its release, Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon breaks the record for the longest charting pop album on this day in 1980, which was previously held by Carole King's Tapestry. At the same time, their latest single, Another Brick in the Wall, was topping both the Cashbox Bestsellers chart and the Billboard Hot 100. Also on this day in 1980, John Paulus, drummer for the Buckinghams, on their string of 1967 hits, including Kind of a Drag and Mercy, 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 died of a drug overdose. He was only 32. On this day in 1985, radio stations in South Africa banned all of Stevie Wonder's records after he dedicated the Oscar he had won the night before at the Academy Awards to Nelson Mandela. Michael Jackson squeezed a fourth U.S. #1 single out of his album Bad with Man in the Mirror on this day in 1988. It was a number 21 hit in the UK. On this day in 2000, Phil Collins is awarded an Oscar for Best Original Song for You'll Be in My Heart from the Disney animated feature Tarzan. Three Dog Night's original bass player Joe Shermy Jr., who played on all of the group's biggest hits from 1968 to 1973, died of a heart attack on this day in 2002. He had just turned 55 a month earlier. On this day in 2004, Jan Berry, one half of the duo of Jan and Dean, died after suffering a seizure at his home. Together, the pair sold more than 10 million records and placed 14 hits in the U.S. Top 40. Jan was a week away from his 63rd birthday. Buck Owens, a country artist who reached number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100 with Tiger by the Tail in 1965, died in his sleep on this day in 2006 of an apparent heart attack only hours after performing at his Crystal Palace restaurant in Bakersfield, California. He was 76. On this day in 2009, a jumpsuit that Elvis Presley wore at a concert at New York's Madison Square Garden sold at an auction for $212,588. Billy Joel's iconic hit Piano Man was selected by the U.S. Library of Congress for preservation in the National Recording Registry for its cultural, historic, or artistic significance on this day in 2016. Even though the record only made it to number 25 on the Hot 100 in 1974, it has become Joel's signature song and was ranked at number 421 in the 2004 list of Rolling Stone's 500 greatest songs of all time. And on this day in 2019, representatives from Cleveland's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame announced that despite allegations of sexual abuse, Michael Jackson would not be removed from the hall, either as a solo artist or as a member of the Jackson 5. And that, kiddies, is rock and roll and wraps my rock history lesson today. But you can wipe away those tears because there's more coming from me to you every day as I peel back the pages of my big-ass book of rock music history and explore the past of the rock legends on my Daily Dose of Rock Music. You can catch up on all my Daily Dose episodes as well as all of my content on YouTube. Search Barside Jive Live. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barside Jive. I want to thank each of you for hanging out with me during my Daily Dose today. I appreciate your company. Please seek every day to be a hero in someone's life, and I will see you very soon. In the meantime, peace, love, and rock and roll. Take it away, Boner.
Have mercy.
Good night, Bill.
BarsideJiveLive.com. That's BarsideJiveLive.com. senses. For the senses. Lows that evolve into highs that pierce. Feel the